most, wasn't she?
Miss Adletta does not wish to be disturbed. Grüß Gott. Was brauchst du, mein Herr?
I'd like to go into the gardens. Why are you on guard here?
I'm afraid my sister is resting in the gardens and doesn't wish to be disturbed.
I'd like to talk to your sister.
I bet you do. If half the men in the city didn't want to talk to my sister, I wouldn't have to stand here. If you want my advice, you'll clear her off before it's too late.
And if I don't go?
I'll have to take you down a peg or two.
If you want a fight, you shall have one. But if I defeat you, you won't try to stop me talking to your sister.
I accept. This courtyard is a fine place for a duel, as it happens. Sprich deine Gebete, Arschloch! Das tut weh! I'm bleeding!
Are you Miss Adletta?
That's me. And what is your name, you handsome fellow?
Henry.
A nice name. But I have to warn you, I won't be a miss for much longer. Seeing you here makes me regret that a little, though.
The pleasure's all mine. I'm here on behalf of Caspar Rudolph. It's about the book he lent you.
Caspar? Oh, the poor thing got a proper hiding from my father. How is he?
His vineyards aren't bringing in much, and he's generally not doing too well. That's why I'm here, in fact. Bushek's book may not be the most precious manuscript in the world, but it'll help Caspar.
When we were friends, he gifted me that book. There was no mention of it being on loan, and now he wants it back all of a sudden?
What if we became friends, and you gave me the book?
You're taking a big risk, good man. My father could have your tongue cut out for that kind of talk. He's not too keen on my friends.
That doesn't bother me.
But it's not that easy to become a friend of mine. First, you need to impress me somehow.
How about a splendid gift?
I have a room full of splendid gifts. How about something more poetic? A flower, perhaps? You see that garland? It doesn't go with my dress. It needs a little something extra.
I could manage that.
Hurry up, then. Off you go, gardener.
A bit longer without food, and I'll really start to be grumpy. I brought you something to add to your garland.
Well, show me, gardener. Oh, they're lovely. You have an eye for flowers. What would you like as your reward?
How about a kiss?
Here, now? In broad daylight?
Why not? We're alone here.
That's what you think. I don't want to make my family angry, and it would be a pity if you came to harm as well.
So you don't want...
If the circumstances were different, who knows? But your charming courtship has made me happy.
I'd like to take Casper's book now.
Of course. That's what you came for, isn't it?
I have the book, so I'll be off.
Farewell, Henry. Never forget me.
I feel quite hungry. I need something to eat.
Spare a groschen for a suffering wretch. I'm sorry. Sorry?
Greetings.
Lord. Same to you.
I'm sorry.
God bless you. Some more, meine Freunde.
Oh, so hungry I could eat a horse.
God bless. Same to you. Wonderful day.
Pavel, the owner of the local inn, I assume?
That I am. How can I help you?
When I asked where I should go in this city for good wine, your inn was recommended.
You've come to the right place. You won't find better wine in this city. Have you come from far away?
Very far, Goodman. I'm Henry, and I rarely hear my name spoken in my native tongue.
Mine has an unusual ingredient in it. Let's see if you can tell what it is.
Saxony, Bavaria, and so on. The German states, basically.
Wonderful! It's not often I get the chance to talk to someone so well-traveled. It'd be nice to have someone to discuss the drink of kings with.
An invitation I can't refuse. Thank you.
Well, good man, how shall we begin our tasting? Ah, I know. How about a little white to begin with?
Excellent.
So, what do you say to that?
Hints of vanilla. That's uncommon. And I have to say, that greenish spring color is perfect.
You're right. A rare flavor and color tone. It's essentially a lighter wine. I like it because it's suitable for many occasions. When I don't know what to serve, I pull out a Moravian white. My father-in-law loves it. He'll be a blessed 70 years old this year, so I'm giving him a few casks to make his old age a little merrier.
That's very kind of you.
There's nothing but misers in this town. They wouldn't think twice about taking their own mother's last piece of bread. I'm not like that. Do I have money? Of course. But I don't hoard it. I try to make people around me happy.
And you're treating me to this wine. You're a real Samaritan. And like it says in the Bible, you give drink to the thirsty.
Anyway, let's have a cup of something else.
My thoughts exactly.
What shall we... Ah, I know. Let's have some red. How about a young Blaufränkisch from Austria? Or as we call it in Bohemia, Blue Frankovka.
From you, Goodman, anything. Pour away.
Quite a decent vintage.
A bit bitter for my tastes. But you said it's a young Blaufränkisch. I'm getting notes of black currant. The colour is dark, almost purple, but as it should be.
Yes, the color enchants me every time. Almost like drinking from an inkwell.
Oh, never drunk ink. Would you recommend it?
My grandfather used to say, you won't know till you've tried it. He lived and died by that saying.
Uh-huh. What happened to him?
Well, the poor fella suffered from ulcers. So one day, true to his favorite saying, he tried drinking spirits to cure himself. Burn the canker, he said. Well, he burnt it so thoroughly, he was dead in a week. God rest his soul.
To your grandfather, and his contribution to advancing the knowledge of medicine.
You said you spent time in the German lands. What wine do the local connoisseurs rate highest?
Anything from the Steinberger vineyard in Eberbach Abbey. It's the largest vineyard in the Holy Empire. It's admirable how they have everything so organized, precise, and measured. Truly a joy to behold.
Yes, yes. The monastic brothers know what they're doing. I can confirm that. I have something from the local monastery as well. We should taste it. Well then, let's move on to the next one. After all that quality stuff, let's refresh ourselves with something simpler. Would you like a Hippocras?
Certainly. The better ones will go straight to our heads. And I'll admit, I do like it from time to time.
Nothing to be ashamed of. It's not easy to make a good Hippocras. Mine has an unusual ingredient in it. Let's see if you can tell what it is.
Very nice. I'd say it's mint?
Precisely. It gives a nice freshness, wouldn't you say? And there's a garden full of it right behind the tavern. I don't know where to put it all.
But it's missing some kick. I reckon your cook forgot to add something. Ginger. It's missing ginger.
But of course. The cook told me they didn't have any at the market. You have a refined tongue, good man. I'll give you that. After that Hippocras, we should have something more high class. I've got a rare Hungarian wine from Eger. Very strong and very sweet.
Bring it on. This is no time for weak wine.
My thoughts exactly. So what do you think? Good, isn't it?
Very strong. Matured in an oak barrel, undoubtedly. Colour is excellent as well. A crimson red. The smell is heavy, spicy, almost suffocating. I have to admit, I haven't had much Hungarian wine, but maybe I should change that.
I drank this particular wine from Eger at a banquet held to celebrate the new city council. Hungarian government, Hungarian wine, and Hungarian delicacies. I was so looking forward to enjoying some nice Hungarian sausages or pate, but I ended up leaving disappointed.
How so?
They started bringing out melons, apples, plums, and all sorts of other fruit. And finally, they served fish. I don't eat fish, and fruit makes me burp. So I went hungry at a feast.
Oh, that's very unusual. Fruit, fish, and red wine. Maybe it's some sort of Hungarian custom.
I was so disappointed that I wanted to make myself something at home to get rid of the taste. But I was so drunk that I fell asleep. The housekeeper woke me up, and what can I tell you? The porridge was charcoal. The kitchen was like a smokehouse, and I had egg on my face. Well, that's Hungary checked off the list. What's next?
How about something local? I noticed there were vineyards in Kuttenberg.
But of course, we have vineyards and grapes from Burgundy that Emperor Charles himself had brought in. The local vintners grow some fine grapes, but they're still learning everything that comes after that. The local stuff gets diluted a lot. They flavor it with all sorts of shit, or leave it for vinegar.
Don't tell me you don't have a drop of anything local that would be worth trying.
Well, there's the monastery secret. A wine from the Sedlets monastery. My cousin Jerome is the custodian of the monastery vineyard.
Ah. Why is it called secret?
Taste it, and you'll see.
Interesting. There's no trace of any flavour that shouldn't be there. Neither honey nor spices. Just the pure taste of wine. But there is something to it. Something I don't recognise.
That's it, good man.
Is that the secret?
Exactly. The monks add a secret ingredient to the wine.
A secret ingredient? How do you know that?
Like I said, my cousin Jerome is the custodian of the monastery vineyard, and I handle their supply. Sometimes I bring food for the workers, new barrels, tools and the like. And from time to time, I bring them a sealed crate which smells peculiar. Jerome didn't want to tell me what's in it, but when I insisted, he told me it's some kind of incense they burn in the barrels.
Really? I've never heard of such a thing.
Neither have I. But like I said, the chest was sealed and the whole thing is shrouded in secrecy.
A real monastery secret. What should we drink next?
I'm glad you like my wine. But that's enough tasting for today. After all, I've offered you everything worth trying, and now the wine is starting to go to my head. But you're welcome to stay in my tavern as long as you like. I have to say, I really enjoyed our chat. It's rare to meet someone who really understands wine.
I enjoyed your company a lot too. Nevertheless, I won't keep you, Goodman, and I'll bid you farewell.
Farewell, and if you decide to extend your stay in Kuttenberg, stop by for a drink again.
Definitely. God be with you.
Careful.
My God! Why are you all covered in blood? What do you want?
Are you in charge of the construction of St. Barbara's? I hear you sent for a blacksmith. Well, here I am. My name is Henry.
Johann Parler is my name, from the Parler Building Works. I think that name should ring some bells?
I'm truly pleased to meet you, sir. So, what do you need? Nails? Carpenter's axes?
Close, but not quite. I need something, let's say, a bit more delicate.
More delicate, you say? And what exactly does that mean?
Oh, there's nothing to fear. Everything will be quite above board. If we are careful. You've never heard of my father, Peter?
I can't say as I have.
He had a divine gift, but he didn't get the chance to see all of his wonderful buildings completed. That task fell upon my shoulders.
Well, that's very nice and all, but I don't have all day here. What do you want me to do?
Construction work is going slower than I'd hoped. Nevertheless, I'm still thinking ahead. Therefore, I'd like to conceal a protective talisman among the roof beams of the cathedral.
Why is that a problem?
Talismans don't grow on trees. I know of 3 here in town, but they're not for sale.
I think I'm beginning to understand.
The first is the horseshoe hanging above the door of the tailor's at the horse market. They say he once got lost in a snowstorm, and Saint Martin himself found him and brought him by horse to the town. He gave him a horseshoe as a reminder.
My word. That tailor was damn lucky.
Don't speak, just listen. The next talisman is a commemorative coin set into the cellar wall above the tavern across from the town hall. And the third is a nail somewhere in the beams of the potter's house in the Czech quarter. They say he brought it from Sedlet Monastery years ago. I want you to get all 3, smelt them down, and forge an axe out of them that I can use to protect St. Barbara's. Putting a carpenter's axe in the truss work is an old tradition.
And no one will know it's made out of a horseshoe and a coin. Stealing, forging magical items, isn't that all a bit dangerous?
Perhaps a bit, but doesn't the House of God deserve protection more than a few burghers?
Well, if you think so, why don't you try explaining it to them? This won't be an easy job, sir. And it won't be cheap either.
Have no fear. This is not a matter I intend to scrimp over.
All right, I'll do it. If the pay is good.
It'll be more than good. Have no fear. But don't come to see me before it's done. The less we're seen together, the better. Till we meet again.
I'd sooner see hell freeze over.
Ah, that's a shame. There's something I need.
Come here!
Tag, mein Freund. Wie geht's, mein Herr?
What do you have for sale?
Danke. Das war ein gutes Geschäft, mein Herr.
The most precious ruby. That! God bless you, sir.
I spoke to Havel.
And? How did it go?
Good. I had to drink a bit of wine to get some answers out of him, but I sacrificed myself for the cause.
And what did he say?
It took a while, but in the end, he told me sometimes crates of a special incense are brought to the vineyard, and they apparently burn it in the barrels.
What? Incense? And he wasn't just yanking your pizzle or too drunk?
He may have been drunk, but he was telling the truth. He doesn't know what incense it is, just that they get it delivered.
Right, and here's a small reward so you don't go around saying old Casper's ungrateful. But now I need you to look into it further. We need to find out what this special incense is for. We'll have to take a look in the vineyard and take some of that incense.
We, meaning me, right?
Of course I mean you. See how well we understand each other?
I'll do it, but I want more coin. It's a risky thing to do. What's more, it's the monastery's vineyard, and I don't want to end up on the wrong side of the church.
All right. I'll give you more, but I want you to know you're bleeding me dry as is.
I'm the one likely to actually bleed. Now tell me where to look. The vineyard is pretty big.
It's big, true. But there's a vineyard house right in the middle. The custodian lives there, as well as the workers. And it's also where all the supplies are stored. Besides, there's also a side garden where they grow new varieties of grapes. If you could manage to bring me a few seedlings, they could greatly help my own vineyard.
Where exactly is the vineyard?
A short way to the north of town. It's pretty large, you can't miss it.
How do I get in? Isn't it guarded?
The simplest thing would be to get hired as a laborer. There'll be lots of work there now that it's summer.
What if they catch me?
You have to be careful. The vineyard is closely guarded, especially at night, and thieves are punished very severely. Don't get caught.
I'm on it then.
Good luck, and take care, Henry. By the way, what about the business with the Manlikas? Did you manage to get hold of the book by Bouchek?
Yes, Miss Adletter is sweet. And she even gave me back your book. Here it is.
Ah, thanks very much. I'll try to sell it and pay off at least some of my debts. Farewell, good sir.
I feel quite hungry.
Sorry. The best wine in Kuttenberg! The taste of home on your esteemed